and win that, which will turn out to carry the 25,000 bonus, it's a chance to win 40,000 gross only 6 weeks later.
Pretty good stuff. Thanks, Roger. I think John Tapp's ready for us now at Canterbury.
OK, Richard, thank you. Under grey skies now at Canterbury. They're set for dispatch in race 4.
Rustic Dream completes the line. Hello, another one to arrive there. Marble Horse is not with them yet. He went around some distance and is just making his way back behind the starting stalls. Favourite here, Willoughby, at $3.30, was a gallant winner last week here after looking well beaten. He rallied and fought back to score. Very good gallop from Western Australia, Willoughby, at $3.30. Number 3, Pengulu, is at $6.60. Number 4 is Marble Halls, just about to move in at $3.50. And number 11, Rustic Dream, $5.70. Ready for the Blamey. Set weights and penalties race this year. Over 1,600 metres, away they go. And the first to jump always aloof on the inside. Willoughby began well, as did Sweet Delight, and Maximal was out fast, followed closely by Sir Swayze and Royal Blue. Over on the inside, Reaper Barn, being followed a bit further back by Pengulu, and tailing out to last is Marble Horse. Settling into stride, and Royal Blue going very fast on the outside, takes the leader. About a half length in advance of Willoughby. Over on the inside of Sweet Delight, a length and a half, always aloof, and Sir Swayze going around them quickly. They're followed closely by Maximal. A bit further back then is Reaper Barn. Rustic Dream on the outside, Pengulu, and 2 lengths away at the back of the field with the mouth open as Marble Horse. Along the back they race, and Sir Swayze went fast to take over. 1,000 metres left to go. It's Sir Swayze by length and a half, Royal Blue. 1 length further back, Sweet Delight. Willoughby over on the inside of Maximal, pushing up on the inside, Rustic Dream, followed by Always Aloof, Pengulu. Reaper Barn second last, and Marble Horse last of all, about 8 lengths off the leaders. They go by the 800. Sir Swayze by length in advance of Royal Blue. A length further back, Sweet Delight, followed by Maximal. Willoughby looks to be going well in behind those leaders over on the rails, and he was followed closely there by Rustic Dream, and further back as Always Aloof, Pengulu. Marble Horse is starting to gain ground, and Reaper Barn last of all as they swing for home. It's over on the inside, Sir Swayze being tackled by Royal Blue. Pull to the outside, Rustic Dream running on well, followed by Willoughby looking for a way out. And down the outside, Pengulu is starting to wind up, and they're followed by Maximal. Marble Horse is a long way back with Always Aloof. Rustic Dream over on the outside takes the lead at the 200-metre mark. Willoughby is now in hot pursuit down the outside. Royal Blue is back behind them, and they're followed by Sir Swayze, and Marble Horse coming home well, but Rustic Dream is the leader. Willoughby finishing very quickly down the outside. Willoughby on the outside has won from Rustic Dream. Good go for third, Royal Blue, and Marble Horse in a photo. Pengulu back behind them, Sir Swayze, Always Aloof, and then came Reaper Barn, Maximal, and last home Sweet Delight. Willoughby finishing very fast down the outside. As we stand by for placings, number 1, Willoughby's got up. Took him a long time, but he's got there. He's a very good horse, this fellow Willoughby. Didn't like his chances much at one stage in the straight when Rustic Dream hit the front. Now, here is Willoughby giving Rustic Dream about 2 lengths. Rustic Dream in front here, Willoughby starting to power home down the outside. Numbers are 111 and 5. Royal Blues lasted for third ahead of Marble Horse, a good run. And here's the finish, and Willoughby knuckling down to his task, putting his head out. In fact, this horse races like a stayer. I noticed him going around to the start. And there he is, going away on the line from Rustic Dream, and Royal Blue, and Marble Horse has finished fast along the inside, and Pengulu wasn't a bad run either. 1, 11 and 5 official placings. After the Blamey Stakes, number 1, Willoughby, Shane Dye, pays a dividend of $3.40, $1.60, and defeats number 11, which is Rustic Dream. Third placing going to Royal Blue. Numbers are 1, 11 and 5, back with the 6th coming up next here at Flemington, the Irish Day handicap at $3.23.
What a great little horse, Willoughby there, proving his win in the Manifold Stakes was no fluke, and his wins in Western Australia weren't either. Willoughby over Rustic Dream and Royal Blue. That's the Blamey Stakes. Now, for the latest from Canberra, including some late mail on the next, here's Richard.
Thanks, Matthew. With me is Michael Heath, and he's going to give us all the latest in the 4th.
Well, a race forward Canberra, only a 4-horse field. The race robbed of some interesting runners with scratchings with the wet track. Nevertheless, the favourite on course is number 5, Kidlat. Young Glenn Perry on board, Richard. Won't be riding with a whip. has success with that style. This horse likes to roll along on his own free will, and Glenn doesn't need to carry a whip with him, so if you're looking for that at the furlong, don't panic, he doesn't have one. It should lead and kick away Kidlat. He is very short, been conditioned by the 2 runs from a spell. The 1400 metre trip in this sort of class of race shouldn't pose any problems. He's by snippets, he'll handle the ground for sure. Looking for dangers, 7 Feanor is an on-pace runner, as we found out today, and as is the case at Canberra on wet ground, you do need to be up on the speed. Thought he represented a bit of value for the Quinella players, and there's been good support on track for number 6 Ashley Road. Likes the wet apparently, but I couldn't have him. He's need to improve sharply for mine. I've gone in for the multiple plays, number 4 Booted, who's been racing very, very consistently. So summing it up, I've got 5 Kidlat on top, looking for dangers, 7 Feanor and 4 Booted.
5, 7 and 4 with a horse that's been ridden without a whip. I think that's about the first for me.
No, Nat, he rides a horse down here called Idaho's Choice without the whip, and it's a speedster and doesn't like the whip. It'll just roll along in front, this horse, and a bit like Idaho's Choice, and it'll prove very hard to catch.
Kidlet's been a very promising horse, but that's about it, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah, he has let the connections down, I think, for sure. He's provided some promise and hasn't delivered. He's a horse that Darren Beedman rode their record on at Rose Hill a few years back.
Thanks, Michael. We'll see how good you are in a minute. Back to you, Matthew, just before they start here at Canberra.
OK, Richard, thanks for that. And we've just seen a terrific win by Willoughby in the Blamey Stakes at Flemington, a winner for Shane Dye after a bit of, well, not bad luck yesterday. Shane's claiming it was bad luck, but I don't think Clary wants to hear about it. That was yesterday in the Alistair Clark, but a winner today at Group 2 level, the Blamey Stakes going to Willoughby, the West Australian. So he's campaigning very honestly in the eastern states. Now, Canberra's coming up soon, race 4. It's not going to take long to get them in. There's only 4 runners, 370 Booted, Kidlat 170, 870 Ashley Road, Feanor at 450. Just the 4, they're all in. Here's Tony.
All in, they're racing now, a good level start, and Kidlet out wide got away well. Now Feanor is going to second, followed by Ashley Road third, and settling down fourth and last was Booted. As they settle fully into stride and race down the back inside the 1200, and the leader was Kidlet, doing it, went under a good rain, about 2.5 in front. Feanor's up running second, a similar margin than Ashley Road third, and just on a length then Booted is fourth and last. As they race towards that next turn, they've got about 950 metres to go, and Kidlet allowed his own way out in front, is bowling along about 2.5 in front. Feanor settles down well. A similar margin off in third was Ashley Road, and 3/4 of a length off Booted is gaining a bit of ground at the tail of the field. Down the side they race now. They've got about 700 to go, and Kidlet still doing it well, about 2.5 in front. Feanor second, followed by Ashley Road, and now Booted taking off from the tail of the field. But this leader's got a big lead as they race up towards the turn. In fact, Kidlet raced right away, about 4 in front. Out very wide, running on was Booted, followed by Feanor, and in between runners Ashley Road, but around the turn 400 metres out, and searching for the better going. Kidlet is well clear. Kidlet raced away at the top of the straight, out very wide. Bootet's running on. In behind those Feanor and then Ashley Road. But as they race down towards the 200, and Kidlet shaken up as the leader. Out very wide. Bootet's coming with a rush now. And the next one was Feanor. Kidlet getting a bit tired. Now Ken Bootet, I don't think so. No, Kidlet's well clear. There's no danger. And Kidlet hands and heels to the line. And here's another one for John Morrissey. 3 wins so far. Kidlet the winner. Bootet second, followed then by Feanor third, and the last one home in the field of 4 was Ashley Road.
$1.80 for Kidlat, and Glenn Perry riding without the whip, and no place pull. Bootet number 4 and Feanor number 7, 5-4-7 on race 4, the 4-horse race at Canberra in Kidlat, leading all the way. Now Charlton race number 5, the second leg of the quaddie coming 2000. Here's John.
Start. One of the best crowds I've seen on a Sunday for a long time here at Flemington today. Starter says go. They're away to a good start on the Irish Day Handicap Sports Circuit. One of the first to jump with Lucky Striker. Sovereign School on the inside is Close Handy, being followed by Santero, and further back Mecca Dance on the outside of Accolades, and Sea Rhythm got back to last. Settling into stride past the 1800 metre mark at Lucky Striker and Sports Circuit together by length to Santero, travelling up 3 deep. Sitting in behind them then is Sovereign Squall. Mecca Dance a bit further back, followed by Accolades and Sea Rhythm, a compact field as they go to the 1600 Sports Circuit on the inside, just in advance of Lucky Striker and Santero. Still racing 3 deep around that back turn, a length and a half further back Sovereign School and Mecca Dance. Sea Rhythm second last, and Accolades last of all as they go by the 1400. Now it's Santero going up to take the lead by length to Sports Circuit on the inside of Lucky Striker. Close in behind them, getting a nice run, Sovereign School. They're followed by Mecca Dance and Sea Rhythm, and 2 lengths away at the back of the field is Accolades. They run past the 1200 with that distance left to travel. Santero bowling along a length clear of Lucky Striker. Close up behind them, Mecca Dance around the outside there of Backal on the inside, Sports Sports Circuit, and Sovereign Squall is in close touch behind them, followed by Sea Rhythm, and 2 lengths away Accolades as they come down the side with about 900 metres left to travel. Santiro about a length in advance of Lucky Striker. Sports Circuit on the inside, Mecca Dance behind them, Sovereign Squall, and further back is Sea Rhythm and Accolades at the 800 metre mark. Still no change in the order. Santiro the leader, Lucky Striker pulling out to make a run, and Mecca Dance is going up 3 deep. Sovereign Squall coming to the picture just behind them, followed by Accolades. Sports Circuit being niggled out has dropped back to be second last, and Sea Rhythm last of all as they round the home turn with about 450 left to run. Santiro near the inside is just in advance here of Lucky Striker, then Mecca Dance coming down the outside, Sovereign Squall there, followed by Sea Rhythm, and further back is Sports Circuit, followed by Accolades in the straight with about 300 metres left to travel. Santiro about to be tackled by Sovereign Squall, looks to be going extremely well, the favourite Sovereign Squall. He's moved alongside Santiro, who fights back. Sovereign Squall and Sea Rhythm getting through in the centre, finishing on well. Sovereign Squall tackled by Sea Rhythm, who's got right through, and Sea Rhythm's hit the front in the final stages. Sea Rhythm going away on the line, wins a half-length Sovereign Squall. Santiro's run third, followed next time in the event by Lucky Striker with Sports Circuit, and well back to Accolades, and Mecca Dance's run last. One moment you couldn't have put enough on Sovereign Squall, and the next minute, or the next moment, he was gone. Sea Rhythm has won it. Number 3, Sea Rhythm. I can't recall how long it is since Sea Rhythm's won a race, if he ever has won a race in town. He probably has, but if he has, it's a long time ago. $17.50 and $5.70 Sea Rhythm, ridden by Martin O'Callaghan. Has outstayed Sovereign Squall, ridden by Kane Post, with Santiro in third place. The numbers are 3, 1 and 7. Number 3, the winner, Sea Rhythm, ridden by Martin O'Callaghan. Number 1, second, Sovereign Squall, ridden by Kane Post. And number 7, Santiro, third, ridden by Damien Oliver. And they are the placings after the running of race 6, the Irish Day Handicap, with another of the big ones to come next on the program, the Coolmore Vanity, 1400 metres for the fillies. That's coming up at 3:59.
Thanks, John. Martin O'Callaghan certainly got plenty out of him in the last little bit. He's an 8-year-old from Tasmania, but across in the mainland today, winning an open race at Flemington. Yes, the Vanity still to come. We'll see Kensington Palace, the Oaks winner, back in action. That's resuming from a spell in the Vanity coming up fairly soon at Flemington. That's the next race from that venue. But let's go back to Canberra now, and Richard Zachariah is about to be joined by our late mailman, Richard.
Thanks, Matthew. And of course, Sea Rhythm, formerly trained here at Canberra by Ken Callaghan, and they sold him to Tasmania very cheaply, and there he is winning a nice race in Melbourne. So the old fella's got some life in him yet. So have you, Michael. What do you think in this race in Canberra?
One of the best betting races of the card so far. The 5th, been very good support on course for number 2, Speedy Groucho. This 5-year-old opened up around about around about each way odds with the bookmakers. He's come in a couple of points since then. Was paying $7.30 Super Tab. You can rest assured he's a lot shorter on course with the bookmakers, Speedy Groucho. Can't fault him, Speedy Groucho. I've got him on top. His first up record's impeccable. 3 goes first up for 2 wins. 1 over this course and distance first up last July. Heavy tracks, not a problem. Great record in the wet. And I expect Speedy Groucho to race up on the speed and prove very hard to beat. Looking for dangers, number 4, Dominican, comes into calculations. Another one that's paying about $8 a tote, a little bit shorter with the books here. Dominican, trained by Arthur Howlett, resumed at Canberra a fortnight ago, ran a very handy 5th. Significantly, its second up form is very good. 3 goes second up for 2 wins. So there's some form lines there to suggest Dominican can figure. And number 1, Loose Lady, trained by John Morrissey. John's enjoying another good day at Canberra, Richard, and he's turned this filly out in magnificent order. A little bit concerned about the wet track, but she certainly has those vital ingredients of fitness and form line. Number 6, Part 2, opened up around about half each way odds with the books. It's been a marked ring wobbler, certainly right out now with the bookmakers. Not a lot of confidence about Part 2, who is resuming this filly, and drawn Barry 1. Not the place to be this afternoon. But summing it up, Richard, certainly number 2, Speedy Groucho on top. Dangers, 4, Dominican, and 1, Loose Lady.
Well, I'm glad you left a John Morrissey runner in it, because he's going so well today.
He's trained about 9 or 10 winners this year at Canberra, and he's on fire at the moment. He's got the A team in, and funny that coming up to the Black Opal Series, he's got a very good team of horses in, and he'll play a big part in the upcoming Autumn Carnival at Canberra.
I'm sure he will. Back to you, Matthew, in the studio.
Righto, Richard, thanks for that, and we'll have more live soon from Canberra Racecourse in the ACT. That's the latest market for Canberra. 5:30 Loose Lady, 3:20 Speedy Groucho. It's a very open race. They're all given a hope, really, with the exception of Stumble. 5.70 there for Patu, but Speedy Groucho at $3.20. 2.41 for Michael Heath, and they're starting to call them in for race number 5. Teralgan dividends. Prince Murad $10.93, $2 for Bundalugwa, $4.90 Gentleman Jack, $17.40 Quinella, trifecta $945.40.
Now they're just about set. Stumble goes up. Lord Rubiton, Loose Lady, standing well. Now they're set. There's the light. They're off. A good start to, and Speedy Groucho hustled out from the stalls. One of the early leaders taken on by Patu, and Monero Mix is driving through. Faraway Heart's not too far away, nor is Dominican. Followed further back then Lord Rubiton, and Stumble at the tail of the field. They're going fairly quickly with about 700 to go. Monero Mix joined again by Patu. In between runners, Faraway Heart. They're chopping and changing these leaders. Speedy Groucho is next, followed by Dominican out very wide on the track. A break behind those with the sit on the leaders, Lord Rubiton, as they race up towards the turn. Further back behind those in the field, Monero Mix and Stumble is a long last, but around the turn and looking for better going. The leader was Patu, taken on by Faraway Heart. In behind those, Lord Rubiton, followed by Loose Lady, and Speedy Groucho coming down the centre, followed by the Grey Dominican out very wide, but it's Patu clear at the 200. Patu pinched a bit of a break, followed by Lord Rubiton. Faraway Heart's closer down towards the inside, then Speedy Groucho, but Patu raced well clear, and Patu is racing away. This is a very, very impressive win. First up from a spell, Patu eased down. Patu was first, close for second, Dominican or Speedy Groucho. In behind those, Lord Rubiton, followed by Stumble, Monero Mix, Loose Lady and Faraway Heart was the last one to pull up.
John Scorse on Patu, number 6, $6.20 and $1.80. 4 Dominican, $1.90, and 2 Speedy Groucho, $1.40. So 6-4-2 at Canberra. Charlton race number 6 is coming up, third leg of the quaddie at Canberra, and joining Richard Zachariah.
Matthew. With me is one of the big investors in horseflesh in the Canberra district, Robin Lees. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's explain why you are such a man at the moment in the horse breeding business, because you have had a big investment in horses recently in New Zealand.
Yes, we bought 3 horses in New Zealand. The Chief's Crown, Lot 5.
For about
700.
Just 700,000.
Yes, he's, if it had been Lot 28 instead of the octagonal brother, he would have made a lot more money, I believe. A lot of people were interested in him, but they all held off for the octagonal's brother.
So you've bought really a half-brother to the great gallopers Umatilla and Hurricane Sky.
Yes.
By the American sire Chief's Crown.
Yes.
And
right.
John Morrissey to train him?
Yes, John will train them.
That's a lot of faith in a trainer who really is a Canberra trainer as opposed to one of the major trainers in Sydney, Melbourne. That's not knocking John Morrissey in any way, but I mean, normally $700,000 colts go to expensive trainers like J.B. Cummings.
We have great faith in John. We've just bought, Len Hoyle has just bought Capricorn Park, and we're combining that with the stables in town of John's, and we believe horses need relaxation, and we believe John is as good a trainer as you'll get in Sydney or Melbourne.
I think you did right. He does very well, certainly here, and when he brings a horse to Sydney or to Melbourne, he does well.
He does, I believe so.
You obviously have great faith in the future of the horse business because you're investing that sort of money.
We do have great faith in it, and it's a great business to be in, and it's great fun to be in it. And, you know, it's, well...
You're not investing with the hope of making any money out of this, though?
Well, it's the idea of him. Love to make some, but it is not the ultimate part of it. It's have enjoyment out of it.
Well, I hope you have a lot of fun with the half-brother to Hurricane Sky and to Umatilla by Chief's Crown. Yes. Thanks, Robin. Back to you, Matthew, in the studio.
Thank you for that, Richard, and you're just in time too, because Canterbury Race 6 is... John?
Very crowded, very busy, good atmosphere, Matt. And, gee, I ran into a lot of people I haven't seen for a long, long time. A lot of well-known racing.
Right.
Very much, Matthew. With me is from Cantrade in Canberra, of course, is Peter Phillips. Peter, just explain to us what Cantrade is.
Richard, Cantrade is the ACT government's nominated board of private sector representatives responsible for assisting the government in the development of external trading activity and investment activity by the growing private sector in the ACT.
What are your coups of late?
Well, we've been very actively involved in the decision by BRL Hardy to come and grow 3.5 hectares of grapes here in the middle of the ACT racecourse and establish an international standard winery and tourism complex. We've also been very actively involved in bringing organisations such as Fujitsu to Canberra to establish an Asian region call centre, so major projects such as that, but we regard ourselves as being a conduit for private sector organisations seeking business opportunities in the ACT.
You're sort of a junior Austrade.
To an extent, we are that, but we have a very specific focus on Canberra. Of course, as you and a lot of your listeners and a lot of your audience will know, Canberra's economy has traditionally had a very strong public sector base. We're working very hard on broadening the private sector base of the economy in the ACT. To that extent, we seek involvement with other organisations which are active across a range of industries, including, of course, the racing industry.
Racing industry of particular interest to you?
Racing industry is of personal interest to me as well, Richard, so it's a bit of a busman's holiday for me to be out here on a day like this.
It always helps if you've got a bit of an interest, doesn't it?
There's a personal interest, but also an interest which fits in with CanTrade's programs.
Thanks, Peter. Peter Phillips from CanTrade. And now back to you, Matthew, in the studio.
OK, Richard, thanks for your coverage there. Now, Caloundra's coming up, then the Vanity at Flemington, the Oaks win at Kensington to Zachariah.
And thank you again, Matthew. With me is John Scorse, who, of course, rode the last winner.
Yes, a very impressive effort, Richard. A very nice filly racing first up today, and I think she'll improve a lot with that.
Trained by Barbara Joseph, you ride a lot for her?
I do most of my riding for Barbara, and when not required by the stable, I can ride for other stables, but most of my riding for Barbara.
You may not be an AFL fan, but you know that you've got the Hawthorn colours on today?
I'm not a bit. I follow the AFL quite a bit, but no, I didn't take any notice of the Hawthorn colours.
John, you're a bit of a character, and you do a bit of comparing, they tell me. You're doing it very well.
Yes, I've done a few Calcuttas, and we had a radio show reviewing the racing on Triple S. Ran for about 18 months. Was very well received. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Would you like to get into the media when you finish riding?
Yeah, I certainly would. I think anybody would, that if I'm good enough.
And do you think you're good enough?
A bit of practice makes perfect, Richard.
What's your specialty? What do you like doing? You like telling jokes?
I'm not a fantastic joke teller, but I know a lot about racing. It's my life, so whenever I can talk about the racing, that's right up my alley.
You've been around a bit. You settled in Canberra?
Yes, I like Canberra very much. It's, as I say, I got a good job with Barbara. Most of the rides here off Barbara, and you know, it's a good lifestyle.
All right, well, I better let you go because you're about to mount up. What are you riding in this?
I'm riding Call Me Oscar. Good chance for the exotics.
Do you think you can beat music video? That's the hot tip.
Well, music video would be very hard to beat, but although he hasn't raced on a wet track before, the progeny will handle the going, and he's been very impressive. To jump from maiden to Class 6 was something we don't see often here or anywhere else, so be a brave man to tip against him.
So you think you might be a chance to run second?
Well, if I say I can't win, they might take their eyes off me and I might be able to sneak up on them.
OK, you better get a ride. We better go back to the studio. Thank you.
He's an interviewer's dream, isn't he, John Scorse? He's always got plenty to say. He's well informed on what's happening, and yes, he rides pretty well too. Now, they're moving in at Flemington for the Coolmore Vanity for the 3-year-old fillies, a $75,000 listed race. Kensington Palace, $7.10. She hasn't gone in yet. She's starting from very wide today. Smidgen at $8.10. They call these fillies in. Snow Beauty, she's back in the green and gold diagonals today, thank goodness, with the white cap. $8.30 for Greeting, and Snow Beauty's at $3.90. And they are moving in at Flemington for the Vanity. Canberra race number 6, 17 Tights on Fire, Call Me Oscar 12, Cane Solo 860, 11 Majestic Tan, 190 Music Video, 13 Preferred Dayton Zoama at $14. That race in about 7 minutes' time. And of the rest, Triplina at $11. Now, Snow Beauty about to go in at Flemington for the Vanity. She'll be followed in by the Oaks winner, Kensington Palace. A good race for the fillies. Here's John Russell.
Right, Matthew, and Marine Spirit coming up. Big sales tomorrow in Melbourne. The Victorian Twilight Yearling sales commencing at 12:45 tomorrow at the Royal Melbourne Showgrounds. And the big Apcos sales, of course, in Adelaide start on Thursday next. Now, they're all set for the Coolmore Vanity. Snow Beauty is the favourite. Soon be on their way. Line good, and they're off to a good start. Fleischer, one of the first to jump out. Greeting began well. Towards the inside, Smidgen was out quickly, followed by Cornwall Queen and Snow Beauty. And just in behind them, Make My Dane, being followed by Danzig's Pleasure on the inside of About Skin. Gliding Light moving up just behind them. They're followed by Spot of Magic. A bit further back on the inside then is Marine Spirit, and they were followed by La Volta. Well back, Kensington Palace is second last, and On Air is last of all. Down the side, they race towards the 1,000. Fleischer leading a half length to Cornwall Queen, followed by Smidgen in the box seat on the inside of Gliding Lighter. Close behind them, Greeting, a length and a half. Snow Beauty, a half length. Abowski, 2 lengths further back in the field then is Danzig's Pleasure on the outside of Make My Dine. Love Volta further back, followed by Spot of Magic on the inside of Marine Spirit. A length and a half, Kensington Palace next to last, and On Air is last of all as they commence the run around the home turner. It's Cornwall Queen moving up on the outside to take the lead from Fleischers. They're about to straighten up. Greeting is third over on the outside, Gliding Lighter, and they're followed closely over on the fence by Smidgen looking for a run, and down the outside of Bowski, followed by Snow Beauty as they run down past the 400. Cornwall Queen in front of Fleischer, who fights back. Greeting is joining in. Snow Beauty running on well, but under the whip, and they're followed by Smidgen. Kensington Palace from a long way back. Danzig's Pleasure back behind them. Gliding Light, La Volta is down the outside. Greeting takes the lead. In second place, Cornwall Queen, and Kensington Palace finishing very fast along the inside of La Volta. Greeting is the leader with 100 metres left to go. Greeting has got it one. I think she'd hang on. Flying home La Volta. Greeting wins from La Volta, and Kensington Palace was a big run. Just in behind them is Danzig's Pleasure, followed by Spot of Magic. On Air behind them. Then Snow Beauty, followed by Marine Spirit. Back in behind them is Cornwall Queen, followed by Fleischer. Gliding Light, Abowski, Make My Dane, and last is Smidgen. Stand by for placings. Greeting, number 9, in the Woodland Stud colours, is the winner of the Cornwall or Coolmere Classic. Stand by for placings. Good win to Greeting here. Well backed in the race and proved too strong. Gee, what a run by Kensington Palace by the same token. There she is, finishing fast along the inside. But Greeting by that time had it won. Race by the Woodland Stud. Jack and Bobbingham, a 3-year-old. Bay Filly by Kenny Ladd out of High Precious. Trained by John Hawkes at Warwick Farm. John won yesterday, of course, with Sports. There's Kensington Palace, and La Volta has been a very good run. And all placings are 9, 10 and 1 in the Kilmore Vanity. And the winner is number 9, Greeting, ridden by Darren Gauci, defeating number 10, La Volta, Shane Dye, and third, number 1, Kensington Palace, ridden by Damien Oliver. 7:50, 2:60 Greeting, 10 La Volta, 4:30, 1 Kensington Palace at 2:50, with a last race to follow at Flemington. And this will be the Molly Blooms handicap, 1,800 metres at 4:35.
Thanks for that, John. Yes, you'd have to think that Lee Freedman and Damien Oliver would be delighted by that run of Kensington Palace. That was 1,400 today. Once she gets over a bit more ground, she's going to be very hard to beat, I think, during the Autumn Classics during the on the next couple of weeks.
Agree. No doubt about it all, Richard. He's only he's a very promising 3-year-old. He's only had the 4 starts for 2 wins. He progressed from a maiden company last start to a Class 6 company. He absolutely bolted in. He's a son of Palace Music, trained by John Morrissey, to be ridden by Matthew Carl. He's owned by the Gundaroo Stud Syndicate, another one of these expensive horses they purchased. He's a horse of enormous potential. Sure, his toughest test today. This is a lead up to the Canberra Guineas in a fortnight's time. He's got the potential. He's the horse on the way up. He's in the red with the bookmakers, and he's been very well tried.
He looks like a good thing.
Looks impeccable in the yard. John's turned him out enormously well. He got out to 6-1 last start. I couldn't get enough on, but today into the red, unfortunately, it's a little bit too short for me.
But remember, the more you put on, the more you get back, mate.
That's true, that's true. But the multiples of the go here. Number 2, Gelato, comes into calculations. Currently around about well in double-figure odds with the bookies. He's an in-and-out type. This race is a lack of speed in the race, and the stablemate Triplina, who's been racing very well, a stablemate of Music Video. Triplina's been racing very well. She'll probably lead here. Query about her in the wet. Music Video will go forward. Gelato will be thereabouts, and I thought if he got an even run in transit, he'd be boxing on pretty gamely. And number 4, Kane Solo, a very promising 4-year-old mare, been racing very, very consistently. Another query on the wet with her too, but she does hit the line very strongly. This is a good quality field, Richard.
You're going against John Scorse, who just told us that he thought his horse, Calls Me Oscar, was a chance, number 3.
Yeah, it's a good chance. He's had the 7 starts over the 1,600 metre trip for 3 wins, and certainly a very good second here last start to Triplina. Gets back in the field, Call Me Oscar. That'll be against him, and as you've seen here today, you do need to be up on the speed.
Well, are we about to see, do you think, the winner of the Canberra Guineas?
Don't know about that, but if he wins impressively, he'll start right in the market on Canberra Guineas Day for sure. On that day, that race is coming into its own, the Canberra Guineas. There'll be visitors from Sydney for sure. It'll be a strong, very strong field. If he wins impressively today, keep an eye on him for sure.
OK, you've heard it from the master, Michael Heath. Back to you, Matthew, very quickly.
OK, thanks for that, Richard. John Morrissey could be in for another winner with Music Video. Let's see what he's paying at the moment on the TAB. $1.50 for Music Video, $35.25, 13 for Call Me Oscar, 10 Kane Solo, 66 and 25. Music Video's $1.50, Preferred Date 28, and 9 Zoama at $12. Haley was a late